Ever found yourself in love with a man who seems to have more debts than dreams? It's an all too common scenario where the allure of potential overshadows the stark reality of financial instability. We're not talking about transient hardships, but chronic, persistent money issues. It's a tale as old as time, but the consequences are often overlooked. So, what happens when the man you're dating is perpetually broke? What are the implications for your relationship, your future? Let's delve into some real-life stories that might make you rethink your choices. Let's meet Sarah, a young professional who fell for the charm of a broke musician. Sarah, a bright-eyed, ambitious woman, was drawn to the allure of a man who strummed his guitar as passionately as he spoke of his dreams. He was a struggling musician, his pockets as empty as the bars he played in, but his spirit was rich and his dreams grand. Sarah, captivated by his passion, believed in his potential and the promises he made. She saw his empty wallet not as a sign of his inability, but as a temporary phase, an obstacle he was yet to overcome. Sarah, who had a steady job and a comfortable income, decided to support him financially. She paid his rent, his bills, even his studio time, all the while believing that one day he would make it big and they would share a life of luxury together. He promised her the moon and stars, and she, in love and naivety, believed him. She invested not just her money, but also her time, energy, and emotions into his dreams. She believed in his talent, in his potential, and above all, in his promises. The day came when his dreams turned into reality. His music was recognized, and he started earning well. He was no longer the struggling musician, but a star on the rise. But as his status changed, so did his promises. The man who once promised her a life of luxury now had a change of heart. The dreams they had dreamt together, the life they had planned, all seemed to fade away as he stepped into the limelight. He left her, the woman who had supported him through his struggle, to pursue the women of his dreams. He had his success, his money, and now he wanted a woman who matched his newfound status. Sarah was left heartbroken, her dreams shattered, her trust betrayed. The promises he made were unfulfilled, leaving her with nothing but a broken heart and a bitter lesson. Sarah's story is not unique, there are plenty more out there. Now let's hear about Emily, who dated a man with a gambling problem. Emily, a successful marketing executive, fell in love with a charismatic man who had a rather unfortunate penchant for gambling. He was always broke, often borrowing money from Emily to feed his addiction. At first, Emily thought she could change him, help him overcome his gambling problem, but as time went on, she realized she was dealing with a man who was not only broke, but also unwilling to change. Emily's savings started to dwindle alarmingly. She was using her hard-earned money to bail out her boyfriend, who was always in some financial mess or the other. It was a vicious cycle. He would lose money, borrow from Emily, promise to change, and then fall back into his old habits. The emotional toll was as devastating as the financial one. Emily was constantly stressed, worrying about money and her boyfriend's gambling addiction. She felt isolated from her friends and family, who didn't understand why she was throwing her money away on a man who clearly had no intention of changing. She was also living in constant fear of her boyfriend's creditors, who would often show up at her doorstep demanding their money. Eventually, Emily found herself in financial ruin. She had drained her savings, sold her car, and was on the brink of losing her home. All for a man who was still broke and still gambling. She was left emotionally and financially devastated, with a mountain of debt and no support from the man who had caused it all. Emily's tale serves as a stark warning of the dangers of dating a broke man. It's a heartbreaking story of a woman who gave everything to a man who gave nothing in return, but it's also a story of strength and resilience. Emily managed to pull herself out of the financial ruin and rebuild her life. She learned a tough lesson about love, money, and the importance of self-respect. Remember, dating a broke man can lead to financial ruin, emotional distress, and a whole lot of unnecessary stress. It's not worth it. Choose wisely and always put your financial health and emotional well-being first. Emily's tale serves as a stark warning of the dangers of dating a broke man. Lastly, let's look at Linda, who dated a man who was always between jobs. Linda's experience paints a vivid picture of the emotional roller coaster that comes with dating a financially unstable partner. Linda, an accomplished professional, found herself in a relationship with a man who was perpetually jobless. He was a dreamer, a man with 1,000 plans, but not a penny to his name. She found herself constantly worrying about the future, the uncertainty of their financial security a constant stressor. The responsibility of being the sole provider was a heavy burden that left her emotionally drained. She was left to shoulder the bills, the rent, the groceries, all the while supporting her partner's fruitless job hunt. The pressure was immense and the anxiety was palpable. The feeling of being used crept in slowly. Linda started to question his motives. Was he with her for love, or was he simply taking advantage of her financial stability? Doubts began to cloud her mind, casting a shadow over their relationship. She felt like a safety net, a convenient solution to his financial woes. Breaking free from the relationship was a struggle. Despite the emotional toll, Linda found it difficult to let go. She was invested, both financially and emotionally. She had poured her heart, soul, and savings into their relationship, hoping against hope that things would change. But change was elusive, and the emotional cost was high. Linda's experience is a sobering reminder of the emotional turmoil that can accompany a relationship with a financially unstable partner. The stress, the doubt, the guilt, the struggle to break free, it's an emotional roller coaster that leaves you feeling drained and used. Linda's experience is a clear example of the emotional turmoil one can face. Now that we've heard these stories, let's identify the common patterns. The first pattern we often see is the unfulfilled promises. These men are often great at painting a vivid picture of a prosperous future. But when it comes to action, they fall short. They sell dreams of success that never materialize. It's a tantalizing mirage that keeps their partners hoping for a better tomorrow that never comes. Next, we have the financial drain. This is the pattern where the man consistently relies on his partner for financial support. It's not about a temporary setback, but a systemic dependency. This pattern can start subtly, perhaps with small loans here and there, but gradually the woman becomes the primary breadwinner, often without even realizing it. Then we have the emotional roller coaster. This pattern is characterized by highs and lows, with the man often using emotional manipulation to maintain control. The highs are often very high, creating a sense of euphoria and intense bonding, but the lows can be incredibly low, leaving the woman feeling drained, confused, and often blaming herself. Finally, there's the psychological manipulation. This is perhaps the most insidious of all the patterns. These men are often adept at gaslighting, a form of psychological manipulation where they make their partners question their own sanity or perceptions. They might deny things that have happened, or twist situations to make it seem as though their partner is at fault. All these patterns are red flags, warning signs that this person might not be the best choice for a partner. They can happen in any relationship, not just ones involving broke men, but they seem to occur more often in relationships where one partner is financially dependent on the other. Recognizing these patterns can help us make better decisions in our love lives. So, should you date a broke man? We've traversed quite a journey together, haven't we? We've delved into the realm of unfulfilled promises, wherein such individuals tend to use their financial status as an excuse not to fulfill their commitments. We've also discussed the financial drain that can occur when one person carries the majority, if not all, of the financial burden. We've taken a ride on the emotional roller coaster, which is often fraught with manipulation and guilt trips. And we've identified common patterns that tend to emerge in these situations, such as a lack of ambition, a tendency to take advantage of generosity, and a refusal to take responsibility for their financial situation. But let's be clear here, the issue isn't necessarily with the lack of money itself. It's more about the attitudes, behaviors, and actions that often accompany financial instability. Financial compatibility is essential in any relationship. It's not about having the same bank balance, but sharing similar values when it comes to money, ambition, and future planning. A partner who respects you will be honest about their financial situation, work towards improving it, and won't let it become a burden on the relationship. They will share your dreams, support your ambitions, and together you will build a future that's not marked by financial stress. Remember, it's not about the money, it's about respect, honesty, and shared dreams. Choose wisely.